G'day viewers and welcome to Blokesworld and welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada. And on tonight's episode we're spending it in a hall with 10,000 responsibly armed Americans at the Vegas SHOT Show. As well as that, we're going to be heading down to Goulburn for more action from the 24-hour Lemons race and check in with Team Blokesworld. As well as that, we're heading up to Yamba, Central Queensland for the Australian Lawnmower Racing Championships and catching up with our old mate, Flash Harry. Anyway, right now, let's head to the SHOT Show. Enjoy.
I'm Victoria Knowles-Lax and I'm from England and I run the Shotgun and Chelsea Gun Club, which is the UK's largest ladies shooting club. So sporting clays for women, and it's taken off in a big way.
And it only took a little bit of research to find out how big the Chelsea Bun and Gun Club is in England. They've got thousands of members. And check it out, she used to live in Australia as well. Winner, winner.
I lived in Australia for 2 years, so I've got family in New South Wales and I worked on a ranch in regional New South Wales, chasing cattle and doing musters and firing guns. It's pretty awesome. So my club, the Shotgun and Chelsea Gun Club, the growth has just been phenomenal in the last 6 years since I've been going. And we've had like 15,000 women come through our events, and we do 100 events a year, and it's just women from all backgrounds, you know, including women that have never even seen a gun before, and they're just loving it. And it's about like confidence and like camaraderie and like all girls together, and we shoot some sporting clays under instruction, and it's just incredible to see women like fall in love with sporting clays, and then they go out and get their own gun, and you know, they're off shooting on their own, and they get into hunting, and it's awesome. I'm so proud of them.
Excellent.
So the shooting scene in Vegas is just insane, I think. In England, our gun laws are very strict, which we're like all cool with, and you know, obviously we have no handguns, but over here it's just like loud and proud, isn't it? And it's just immense. And I've just never seen so many guns in one place, and it's awesome to be surrounded by people that just love it, like love shooting and love guns. And there's some crazy guns here, like absolutely crazy guns. So I've got a few. I've got a Browning 525, a Browning 725, and I've got a Browning 725 Hunter Grade 5, which I just love. And I use them for clays and game, and they're just awesome, just all-round guns. And I've got like a smart one for best, and yeah, I just love them. Wouldn't shoot anything else.
Can you tell our viewers a bit about the game that you have in England?
Sure, yeah. So game shooting in England, it's so different to, I think, even what you have in Australia. So we do driven shooting. So we do hunting, it's deer stalking. We only hunt like kind of deer. And then we do rough shooting, which is like pigeon shooting and like pest species like rabbits and stuff. And then driven shooting is, it's really like Downton Abbey kind of, well, it can be, you know, it's all posh tweeds, and you know, we shoot pairs of side-by-sides, and we'll shoot like 200 birds in a day, and we do it on like posh like country estates, and drink a few slowgasms, which is champagne and slow gin, and just generally just lord it up a bit, and you know, shoot some great birds, have some good times, and yeah, have some good sport. For any Aussie chicks that want to come over, I'd love to have you. You can find me on Instagram at Chelsea Bun Club, or our website is shotgunandchelseabunclub.co.uk.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you.
Awesome.
Was that all right?
Yeah, that was perfect.
Right now we're going on commercial break. Don't you go anywhere though, because when we come back, we're going to get all tactical. Plus, we're going to take you for a spin in the Blokesworld EF Falcon station wagon, aka Killed by Death, as we race in the 24-hour Lemons race in Goulburn, New South Wales. See you after these messages. And welcome back to Blokesworld. If you've just joined us, we're in Las Vegas, Nevada in the United States, and we've come over here to check out the Vegas SHOT Show. So right now, let's head into the main ballroom to the tactical room, aka where you can dress up like Call of Duty. Camera 3, Freedom ain't 3, it costs $1.85, eh?
Right to zero.
Look at that. The Second Amendment. That is just a weapon, eh? Oh yeah, check out the KTMs.
I check out the shooting targets. Next time someone comes to borrow your hammer, you can blow them away. Kind of scary, kind of American. Just come to pick up something for the missus. Might grab her a silencer.
All right, viewers, right now, let's head down to beautiful tropical Goulburn, New South Wales for the 24-hour Lemons Race and check in with Team Blokesworld.
It's like rally car driving on tar. It was sick.
It was just peeling off 120s like they were $50 notes out of ADO's wallet.
It's not so much that you take a corner, it's more that you make an appointment with the corner. It's like, roar.
First time ever in a race car, first time ever on a racetrack. We want to come back.
When I was out in that car, man, I was Cole Trickle. Like, you know, man, I was Russell Ingall. I just thought I was the stuff. Then I've come in and looked at the footage. It looks like I'm delivering pizzas.
So it's a bit hairy that...
If you get a Commodore or a Falcon, go and buy your brake pads in bulk from Aldi.
You're back in the game, mate. Back in the game.
We've now drafted 2 girls into the team. So, see, this happens all the time.
Long story short, we lost one of the wheels on track, so the wheel came off.
Watch out!
Right now, it's time to introduce you to Bardo, a good mate of ours who built the roll cage inside the car. He's from Impact Roll Cages. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Bardo.
So the first day Ado came and walked into my shed and said, "Hey boys, I got this great idea, this lemons race. We gotta check this out. We can do it." Two days later, we'd ordered tube. We organised the first night at my place to start doing the cage. Ado rocks up with spray paint, ready to paint the cage that night. We got it in the shed, scratched our heads and thought, where do we start? Basically gutted the car, a lot of cutting and bending and getting the tube to fit the way we needed. It wasn't quite that perfect car to be slotting a badass roll cage into, but we got there. Most people see that it's got a snorkel on the car. It did work in the desert. For some reason, it had to stay, and it's ended up being a ram air intake, cabin fresh air conditioned. So the late nights in the shed building this roll cage, I like to listen to Motorhead a lot, and we got some ideas pop up with the whole Motorhead deal and making the car tribute to Lemmy. There's a lot of fast guys out there who can make a pretty ordinary car seem like a NASCAR out there. I soon learned that. Had a great time. Learned a lot about how the flat track stuff works. Yeah, look forward to get back next year.
Righto, viewers, we better go to a commercial break before the self-indulgence meter hits 10. See you in a minute.
I'm from the Central Queensland Mower Racing Club, and this is a 250 powered Yamaha racing normal grass cutting mower that's been converted to a racing mower. I've been racing now for about 3 years and race at various tracks, Bundaberg, Maryborough, here at Yamba, just outside of Rocky, and have a ball every track. Well, the guy who owns the pub here at Yamba, which is about 30 miles north of Rocky, he sort of got together with a couple of other guys and they kicked off the mower racing, just as a bit of an idea they had in the shed when they were half drunk one night, and it just boomed from there. They got permission from the landowner here to build a track, and we've got about 30 odd members in the club, and there's about 30, 40 odd members that sort of travel throughout the year to different race meetings. And it's just a small township that just loves their mower racing. We're out of town, you've got no worries with the council or dust or noise, so we can just come out here, have a ball, go all night partying, and then race the next day. Mate, I do a lot of stickers and I do a lot of the signs here for the mower club. I came across you guys at the dirt drags up here a couple of years ago, and I've watched your show on TV from the early days right through to now. I was just a big fan, and I thought I'd do something to sort of, a bit of a promotional thing for you guys, and just dress the mower up for the weekend. It's worldwide, and it varies from city to city and state to state, even country to country. Down south they have handlebars on their mowers, whereas up here we've got to have a steering wheel configuration. But they haven't actually got designated tracks down south. So they just go to a property, they go and see the owner, they say, look, can we use this property for the weekend? And they just grade a bit of a track into it and just go for it from there. This is a specifically tailored track for racing. It's a granite clay mixture, it's watered, it's rolled, it's set up specifically for racing. It would be one of the best tracks in Australia. The different configurations on the racing mowers. On this one in particular, I've got a foot throttle and a foot brake on this side, gears on this side and a foot brake. Some of them have got if they're a motorbike engine, they've got the gear stick where they change manually, which I found a bit of a hassle because it gets in the way of your steering. A lot of guys, this is just your clutch on this side, a lot of guys use the throttle on the steering wheel so they can actually throttle and back off as they get into a situation on the corners. It's just a preference thing. I find that one gets in the way, you can't get a good grip on your wheel, whereas with the foot throttle, it's more like driving a car, it just comes more naturally. But it's just whatever takes your fancy and whatever works best for you.
Hi there, what's your name and what's your ride? Paul!
My name's Mark Camilleri and I ride a 1957 Chevy Bel Air.
What's under your hoodie? Paul!
That's a 540 big block, blown and injected.
How much have you spent on it? Paul!
I've spent about 150,000 just on parts.
What have you done to it? Paul!
I've done a lot to this car, rebuilt the whole thing from the ground up. Chassis, engine, you name it, interior, under hood, everything's been custom made and designed to race on the track, and parachute on the back, and lots of stuff like that for quarter mile.
What would you trade it for? Paul!
Ooh, what I traded for. Funny you should mention that. It is for sale, so if someone's interested in it, give Blokesworld a call on Facebook page and we'll tee it up.
What does your missus think? Paul!
She loves being at the centre of attention when she gets in it, so she loves it. It's grouse.
So what's the best memory you have of your ride? Paul!
The best memory? Best memory was taking me mum in it down the freeway. Crossed up at about 180 k's an hour, I lost it, and crossed 3 lanes, and it's pretty good.
Tell me more and I'll give you some private shooting lessons. Paul.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Hey viewers, don't you go anywhere, because after the break we're going to bring you more action from the 24 Hours of Lemons, featuring the Blokesworld Falcon station wagon. See you in a minute. So when you're driving the Blokesworld Falcon wagon, it's not so much that you take a corner, it's more that you make an appointment with the corner, right? Because this thing's got so much weight in it, it's like, all right, it's 250 now, so I'm coming up to turn one, I'm gonna have to sort of get the weight over here now. So you start turning, it's like, roar, and hopefully you've timed it so that the weight's on the outside wheels as you're turning in, right? You've got a good couple of seconds after you turn to when she starts to go, oh, that's what you're talking about. I don't have any racing experience at all. I've got maybe 2 hours in a sprint kart and no time at all in a real car on a real racetrack with real gear and all of this stuff. And so, bit of a lack of experience. Just like all the other guys, the first view of the track was my lap one coming out of the pits. So once I started getting more comfortable, I had it in my head that I was braking too early, so I actually started trying to brake later and later, and I think I might have overdone the braking a bit, because after a while I started to develop some pretty serious brake fade. And then a couple of corners I took a little bit deep and the brake fade got worse and worse. I started smelling brake pads, and then I just stomped it into the end of turn one again and locked it up. I wasn't trying to go hard. Everyone thinks I was trying to go hard, and I was just trying to stop the freaking thing, and scored myself a bit of a reputation as a bit nuts.
Yeah, camera 3, hell, an aggressive little driver, but can steer a wheel.
So it's a right-hand track and there's really only one left-hander, and once I started taking that left-hander at an appropriate speed, every time I came around the corner, the engine had cut out. And so I come around this corner, go to accelerate, power out of the corner and get nothing, and just have cars streaming past. It's so loud in there that you can't really distinguish it from the other engines that are barreling past you at full throttle, you know. And so it took me a bit to figure out what was going on. And, you know, I had it in my head. I know that from the fuel pump problems we had, knowing that that fuel pump was on the left side of the car, and we've got a stock fuel tank in the car, which is allowed in Lemons, and I'm just picturing all the fuel going over to the right-hand side of the car, away from the pump, away from the pickup, and starving it of fuel and conking out. And so I did a few more laps, and then finally she conked out completely. I couldn't get it started again. Rolled very slowly to a stop, and there was a nice little like Blokesworld stopping lane right there for me. Thank God. Nissan Navara comes out, the yellow lights go on, everyone gets to have a laugh at the Blokesworld car getting towed in. So I'm getting towed in, and of course being power brakes, the brakes are getting heavier and heavier. Combine that with the brake fade I've apparently added to this thing, I'm like, I'm going to plough into the back of this Navara in the race car. And that's going to go on telly. And as someone who's driven a few Fords in my life, I knew this was happening, turned the ignition on to get the brake pedal back, and fired her up. Up she went, started up. So then I had this dilemma: do I leave it in idle while I'm being towed in behind the Navara, with everyone wondering why you're getting towed in if your engine's running? I thought, no, I'll switch it off. So I pulled in, explained everything to Mick's the expert. He knows what's going on. Brownie's immediately identified what's going on, you know, when I tell him the symptoms of what's happening. So we've hooked around the back way to the refueling area, filled it back up with fuel. I got to do another 8 or 10 laps with a full fuel tank, handled the left-hand turn without losing fuel, and everything was golden.
Down on days
that's all we can fit in tonight's episode, but taking us out once again, it's our segment, The Things I Made Camera 3 Eat. And on tonight's episode, well, it's a collection of some of our greatest hits, including chicken wings, Denny's, In-N-Out Burger, and the best Subway in the world.